The question that we have to deal with today is bringing children to shul for the Megillah reading or not. So the Torah opens up at the end of Tafresh Peitas over here and says, the Yerushalmi quotes Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, who was having machnish b'nei beisei v'kori kaimehun. He gathered the people of his house and he read the Megillah in front of them. Mikan no hagin v'ksas mekom. From where you hear the custom is in some places. L'havi ketanim the ketanos l'shmo mikra Megillah. To bring young children to the shul to hear the Megillah. This is where it comes from. Yeah?
Machnish maybe kamehon in front of him.
Yeah. And he would read the Megillah. That's right.
In front of him where? He was always in the base medrash. He was all like that. He gathered in front of him.
That means that they gather them all together. Just bring it back up over here.
It doesn't say that it's in the basic Knesset or a basic.
No, very good point. It does not. It just said that they were gathered. They gathered it all together. Yeah, very good. He gathered them. All right. Now we're gonna come back to that in the shul, not in the shul. Very good point. Comes along the Shulchan Aruch and says like this. He says over here regarding the gathering, minhag toiv, lahavi ketanim v'ketanos l'shmo mikra Megillah. That it's a good custom to bring the children to shul, whether male or female, to hear the Megillah. Yeah? All right. Question. What age is he talking about to bring the children in shul? Is he talking about 5? We're talking about 11? In other words, Megillah chinuch or not Megillah chinuch?
The Torah didn't specify.
No one specified. All right, we'll come back to that. Comes along the Magen Avraham.
You said correctly. He said B'nosayim, Banim of B'nosayim, or he said Tam of Knanos?
Who?
The Torah, the first one.
Oh, gotta go back to the Torah again. Oh boy, give me tough work here today. Okay, the Torah over here says no Hogim Mixas comes to Havi Ketan and Viketan. Okay, all right, fine. Now comes along the Magen Avraham and Yudalf. Ubilvad shlo yaviu Ketana b'yoser. Make sure they're not too young. They're going to disturb the people who are trying to listen to the Megillah. So we see from over here that they can't be too young, whatever that age is, which is an unspecified age. Comes along the Prima Godim in the Eshel Avram and says a comment, which the truth is we already learned in the Kaf HaChaim in the beginning of the Siman. Ve'achshav roi l'kol echad sheyeh loy Megillah k'sheiro v'lekroya b'lachash milu milu. Nowadays, it's fitting that every single person should have a kosher Megillah and read along silently, word for word. After ba'os yud mashma b'roivam mikom makom i'efshar l'shmoya me'ashliach sibor machmas rashu bilbo shemakim be'itzum mashmiyim kohol. Everyone should have a kosher Megillah in front of them, which is pretty expensive, by the way. And even though we said b'rovam that you should have a lot of people where you're going to hear the Megillah, so if there's going to be a lot of people, then how are you going to be able to hear the Megillah? There's going to be a lot of noise. No. Mikol makom efshar l'shmo me'ashliach sibor machmas rashu bilbo shemakim be'itzum mashmiyim kol. It's impossible to hear from the Baal Koreh, the person reading the Megillah, because of all the noise and commotion that they're hitting with all the wood and the groggers with the Haman, and they're raising their voice and everything. So person has to make sure that he's in a location or close enough where he could hear. And if he can't, then that's why it's fitting to have your own Megillah, so you could read it word for word after him. Also, women, whether they're married or not, it's fitting that they should have a kosher Megillah and read it in front of them if they can't hear. You can't hear anything in the women's section sometimes. Anyone who could do this is what they should do. So they have to know if they could hear or not. We spoke of the Kaf HaChaim in the beginning of the Siman, said if they can't hear, then they're not going to fulfill their obligation at all. This is the Shulchan Aruch. Comes along the Mishna Berura. It says like this. Mitam zeh, because of this reason, no hagin Hakel, the custom is for the congregation, L'krois elu pesukim b'kol ram. Oh, sorry. That's why I skipped this. Kedei l'chancha b'mitzvahs b'shumei nisa. Why do you bring the children? In order to educate them with the mitzvah of publicizing the miracle. Yeah. This is why the custom is to read these pesukim in a loud voice. Shim Iker Paschalos Hanes V'Sofa, which is the beginning, which is the main part of the beginning and the end of the miracle. Which pesukim? Ish Yehudi Mordechai Yatsa La Yehudim Ki Mordechai, etc. All the pesukim we do out loud. Why? Here's your answer. So that the children will pay attention and they won't fall asleep and they'll pay attention to laning. They'll be interested. Oh, what's going on over here? And we read these pesukim in order to educate them. Just to pull that up on the screen over here. This is what the Levush says at the end of the simon. No, Hogan Lahavi Ketanim Viketanos. The Shmo Mikra Megillah. The custom is to bring the children to the shul to hear the Megillah. L'chanachim b'mitzvahs pursume nisa, to educate them with the mitzvah pursume nisa. Umitamzen Hogan Akal Likrois Ilu Psukim B'Kol Ram Shehem Ikar Aschalos Hanes V'Sofa. And because of this, the custom for the congregation is to read these psukim in a loud voice, which is the main part of the beginning of the miracle and the end. Him, and this is Ish Yehudi Mordechai, etc. Like we just saw. Kedei la'oyer has a k'tam shel yishana v'yitu liba makriya so psukim kin lechamchon. Okay, that's Levush. That's what we just saw in the Mishna Berura. That's a source. Like he puts in parentheses right over there. Tanam kutanos ubilvat shel yaviu ketanim b'yoser. As long as you don't bring children who are too young. Shemevalvelen das Hashem, because they are going to disturb those who listen. Which you gotta put this into consideration over here. And look at this in the next one. This is the Magen Avraham that he quotes that we just saw, but look at this next thing, his rant over here. Now, because of our great sins, our great iniquities, it became opposite, right? Like we said, Elohim Valvolin Shagam Hagidoilim Einam Yechoilim Lishmo Vikol Biosam Hurak Lahakas as Haman. That besides for the fact that they are not listening, they disturb. They disturb that what? That also the Gedoilim aren't able to listen. And the entire reason why they come to Shul is only to hit by Haman. It's the whole reason why they come. They're only coming to Shul to hit when the Haman comes. They're coming for the jokes. With this, the father's not fulfilling the mitzvah of chinuch at all. In other words, that what? Right. You got to know why you're bringing them, and are they actually going to focus? The truth is, proper education and chinuch is. Every single father needs to make sure that his children are by him, and to pay attention to them. That they should listen to the Megillah reading. And once the person reading Megillah, once he reaches and he gets to Haman, so then the child could hit and make noise by Haman. Baloshi as a ikar habasakatan base of medrash, but this shouldn't be the real reason why the child's coming to shul. Next Mishna Berura, it's fitting that everyone should have a kosher Megillah now. Read it silently, like we just saw in the Pri Megadim, as is the source of this Mishna Berura. It's impossible to hear properly with all the noise and commotion. And it's fitting that everyone should accustom themselves in this matter, someone who has the ability to do so. This is the Pri Megadim verbatim. That's what we just saw, exact thing. You see, after you learn it properly, there's not much adding. But comes along the Beer Halacha. Like the Magen Avraham wrote. When the Shulchan Aruch says minhag tov, it's a good minhag to bring the ketanim to shul. For sure, we're talking about children who reach the age of education. Let's say around 7. Yeah? Because the younger ones are just going to disturb. So ask the Beer Halacha, Vim Kain, Ma Shayach Minhag. Tov. Why do you say it's a good custom to bring these kids to shul? You're obligated from the letter of the law to bring them. This is Me'ikar Hadin. There's an obligation over here. to educate them with reading the Megillah. What's the explanation over here? Ulai, perhaps, perhaps the explanation is you would fulfill your obligation of educating them if you would read the Megillah in your house. Aval kadei lefarseim hanes biyoser minhag lahaviyam bebeis hamedrash yishmu betzibur kadei lachancham shegam begadlusam yishmu betzibur. But in order to publicize the nes even more, the custom is to bring them to the actual shul, so that they could hear it with the congregation, in order to educate them that also when they get older, they will hear it with the congregation in the shul. Comes out that what? Comes out that the way that the Beer Halacha is learning this Shulchan Aruch is when we said that it's a good custom to bring the children to shul. We're referring to children who reach the age of education. And the chiddush is you could, the inside over here is that you could read the Megillah in the house and they would fill the obligation. But no, the way to properly educate them is to bring them to the shul, which is above and beyond the halacha, so to say, for children. Comes along Rabbi Yaakov Breish in his Shilos Veteshuvos Chelkas Yaakov and says that's not the explanation of this Beer Halacha, of this Shulchan Aruch. So we have an argument of how to read it. According to the Chelkas Yaakov over here, he says, what are you talking about? Minhag Tov? Does that make a din? Shoynes hapois kemash mishkol ikar shmias haketanim einem el minhag tov. Loyal parts of anes fluchim ikar din. It's implied everything is a good minhag. Nothing over here is from the letter of the law when it comes to chinuch. Rather, he explains the Shulchan Aruch is talking about children. They didn't reach the age of education. However, you know that they're the type of children that will remain silent during the laning and try to listen to the best they could, and they won't disturb other people. That's when there is now, that's a good minhag to bring them. So you have to know your children. It's a fabulous machlokas over here. How to learn this Beer Halacha, how to learn this Shulchan Aruch over here. Yeah? Mm-hmm. We do it in a loud voice, these pesukim, in a happy type of manner. Because then the children are going to say, what's going on over here? What's this about? And then you explain to them, look, this is what it's about. This is what the Megillah is about. This is why we say these pesukim out loud. This is really everything we got over here. Let's take a look at one more thing, and then I'd like to add something. Desecrate Shuvas over here. The age of chinuch, by the way, is around 6, 7. It says like this: a katan, a kid, even if he reaches age of education, it's very difficult for him to listen to the Megillah without fully focused and without spacing out. I mean, it's difficult for adults also, but especially children. And it's discusses later on, if you miss one word, you don't fulfill your obligation, which is an important halacha. So he says, near daf al pikin ina davar mafkiyas a yelon mekima mitzvah. Even so, this doesn't remove the child from fulfilling the mitzvah. As long as he understands the concept of the miracle, when he's around 6, 7, there's an obligation of education over there, even though it's clear that what? That he can't fully focus the entire time. So this is certainly something to keep in mind, an interesting point over here. Just want to add, we'll conclude with this. One more point when it comes to this inyan that we're discussing. The Gemara in Meseches Chagigah on Daf Gimel Amud Aleph says, these are a picture of my notes in my Mishna Berura. Yeah. The Gemara in Chagigah says, Hakel asa'am, hanoshim ve'anoshim ve'ataf. It's talking about the mitzvah of Hakel. You gather everyone, even the children. Pasukim Devarim Lamed Heyed Beis. Ima Noshim Boim Alamed. Discussed this in the past on a parsha somewhere. Men are coming to learn. Noshim Boz Lishmoa Tafel. Why are the children coming? Women coming to listen. What are the children coming? To give the people who are going to bring them reward. Tosfos over there explains. Tosfos explains. That's what we relied on to bring children to shul. That's the whole Tosfos. This is where it comes from bringing children to shul. So your average Orthodox Jew who's learning the Daf Yomi, so Baruch Hashem, they're also learning Tosfos, let's say. They learn that Tosfos, which is less than 10 words, very easy Tosfos. They say, oh, now we can bring the children to shul.
Is it Tosfos?
Chagigah, Gimel Aleph. How's the Somcha and Lavi Gitano basic Knesses? Then now I can bring him to shul, right? Now, comes along the Mishna Berura and Siman Sadi Ches, Sifkat and Gimel, we discussed them over there. But Shla Koyer Tigar Ala Meviyim Yeladim LaBeis HaKnesses. The Shla doesn't like when people are bringing children to shul. This is talking about when they're very young, they didn't reach the age of education, they're not behaving. Why? They're doing jokes in the shul, they're playing games the whole time, they're dancing around. They are desecrating the holiness of the shul. And they're disturbing people who are trying to daven there. Vote and furthermore, Gam ki yazkenu lo yasir mimenu hara asher nischanchu b'yaldusim. Their education in shul is disturbing other people. When they get older, they're just going to disturb also. Lishtageh v'lavazois, and they're just disgracing what? The shul. Kedushas beis haknesses. However, once they do reach the age of chinuch, continues the Mishna Berura quoting the Shela, bring them to shul and teach them orchos chayim, the ways of life, leisha be'ema be'yura, to sit in a fearful manner. Don't let them leave their place. You teach them to answer Amen Kaddish Kedushim Baruch. End of the day, do you bring them? You got to know your children. If they reach the age of education, so then for sure you bring them. And they could focus and everything. Also younger kids, even if they didn't, if they could focus, you bring them. But it's a long laning. You've got to really know. That's why now they have a lot of shuls, they have like a makeup laning, in addition to one for the women who couldn't go to the shul because they were watching their kids, so they go to a second lane. They have another one just for kids. Such a concept of that also. But
watch out for gift wrap, okay?
Any questions, comments on any of these halachas that we just learned?
No.
Okay. Let's do a little portion now.